welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for such a long time. I know. But I also know you guys gonna forgive me because you've seen the title, so you know I had a baby. Yay! Yeah, so I had a baby back in January. And yeah, the whole pregnancy and everything was a bit nuts, so that's why you guys didn't see me. I thought about doing that whole pregnancy update thing. It didn't work out, but I'm here now. I did record previously, and if you follow me on Instagram you know this already, I did record a whole labour and delivery story. That's a baby in the background, you might hear him from time to time, he's with my husband. I did record a whole labour and delivery story, labour and delivery story, and it just didn't work out. I wasn't happy with it. The point I was trying to get across didn't come across. When I thought about it and I talked to my husband about it, I said the last time you guys, or the first time you ever heard anything to do with parenthood, pregnancy, motherhood, was when I did a video back in August 2016 called Preparing for Motherhood, and it was just trying to wrap my head around the idea of one day becoming a mum. And then I had the video where I was away for a little while and I told you guys I'd suffered a miscarriage, which was very unfortunate, and then boom, I've had a baby. And I thought I'd be doing a, what's the word, injustice? Yeah. If I just came on and said, hey, I've had a baby, here's my labour and delivery story, without taking you guys through the journey that I went through to get to this point. And I think it's important for me to be able to talk to you guys about this and add to the conversation that's starting, because I'm seeing a lot happening, especially within the black community, with mums and women and men talking about fertility and things like that. I think it's important because it's, to me, it seems like it's such a taboo in our community, where it's like, oh, you want to have kids, you pray to the Lord or Allah, whoever it is that you worship, you know, that they will bless you with the fruit of the womb, not children, the fruit of their womb. And you know, you just pray and then bam, you'll be in the hospital and you deliver and bring forth your child. It's not like that for everyone. There's prayer involved, there's praying to God, hoping for the best. There's also medical appointments, pills, injections, jabs, timing, lots of sex. Like it's a lot that goes on. So I feel like it's important to be able to talk about the nitty-gritty of these things. And even though mine wasn't the most challenging of journeys to parenthood, I still think it's important to add my voice to the conversation that's going on. And hopefully it can help someone if they're out there and they've got these issues going on, or even if you're just curious about it, because everyone just assumes, you know, you have sex in 9 months, oh, baby. It's not always like that. Anywho, so what I wanted to do, just let you know what's going to be happening over the next few videos, because it's not hair related, is because it's such a big topic, I didn't want to just try and squeeze it into a 10-15 minute video. So it's going to be a series. I don't know what I'm going to title this series. You'll know because it'll be in the title, but I don't know right now what it's going to be called. But it's probably going to be about 4 parts, and it's going to cover everything from the whole after the miscarriage, getting pregnant, the pregnancy journey, and now that I'm a mum. So today's one is kind of from the whole miscarriage point up until I found out I was pregnant. As they always like to say, get a cup of tea. I ain't got no tea, I need to get some water. Get a cup of tea, because it's going to be a bit of a long one. Right, so I said I'm going to start from after the miscarriage. However, as a tiny disclaimer, I've got to go back just a little bit to put this into context. I stopped using hormonal birth control back in 2015, summer of 2015. Mum, close your ears. Me and my then boyfriend at the time decided, well, now husband, then boyfriend at the time, just with all that was going on, decided this is not good for me anymore. I had been using what doesn't exist anymore, basically the contraceptive implant. I had used that prior, no problems, for the 3 years. Mom, close your ears. I'd used it for 3 years prior, and that time it was called Implanon. No issues. My periods didn't disappear. I had periods as normal, no problems there. Took it out. I wasn't with anyone. I was celibate, so I was like, I don't need this no more. Take it out. And then a while after I met my now husband, I said, okay, well, we're gonna have to use something because I ain't trying to have a baby right now. So I was like, well, I used Implanon last time, let's use it again. I ain't got to worry about no pills, daily medications, and no, my memory's not that great. So let's get rid of that, let's use the Implanon again. When I went to get it, there wasn't Implanon available, they had changed it to Nexplanon. I don't know if that's what they still use, I'm not discrediting it, everyone's body reacts differently to it, but for me, it was hell on earth. I had crippling periods, crippling, couldn't go to work. The doctor had told me to take paracetamol, ibuprofen, codeine every 2 hours, up to like the whole 4 times a day throughout my period. Some days I couldn't go to work. I remember there was a time specifically, it was me my husband and my nephew, and we'd gone Tesco shopping, and I remember being crouched over the trolley looking like a crazy person, screaming because they told me they ran out of codeine. I was like, no, I'm gonna die, people need to get me something. It was really, really bad. So with my GP, we decided, let's take out the implant, see what happens when your hormones settle down, see what's going on. Had a series of ultrasounds, blood tests, and what had never happened to me before, I had like huge cysts on my ovaries. First it was on the right side, then they disappeared, and then the same thing appeared on my left side, and it was mad. But if I keep looking down, I've got notes. It was June 2016, so the following year, everything had settled down. We'd taken out the implant, my hormones had settled, they checked my ovaries, everything was fine. And this was a couple of months after I'd gotten married. So they said, you know, if you want to try to start for a family, great, you can go ahead. Which is probably explain the reason why in August, the following month is, well, not August, a couple months later is when I did the preparing for motherhood video. It was very much on my mind, and I wasn't ready to have a kid at that particular time. But because of everything I was going through, it was very much on my mind, like, okay, if they said everything's fine, should I just go for it now? Because, you know, I don't want to wait and then there'd be a problem. So forward a little bit later, so this was November 2016, started having these issues again, these same gynae issues. So went to my doctor, obviously they saw my medical history, said, okay, it's straight, let's go for an ultrasound, see what's going on inside. If any of the cysts have come back or anything. I assumed maybe I had another cyst on my ovary. What I didn't expect was to see tons of little cysts dancing around in my ovaries. So they said, oh, looks like you might have polycystic ovarian syndrome. However, there's like 3 things that they have to check for. And my blood work didn't match it. There was something else that I can't remember didn't match it, but my ovaries were full of cysts. So that was November. Obviously, it was really scary for me then, because it was like, oh my God, you know, PCOS is hard to get pregnant. Oh, you know, what should we do? So then I was like, okay, I want to have a baby. So my husband was like, okay, cool, let's have a baby. And tried, and oh, do you know, I've jumped a little bit, sorry. So because I took out the hormone birth control, but I still wasn't trying to get pregnant at the time when we took it out, I learned about the fertility awareness method, which if you are interested in that, let me know, because that is a whole nother topic, or I can point you to some Instagrammers, YouTubers that talk about it wonderfully and I don't have to repeat it. But it's basically where you track your fertility without hormones. So you take your temperature every morning. If it's TMI, you just shouldn't be watching this anyway, but you look at your cervical fluid every day. It has a specific way it looks when you are fertile, and I mean, if you're a woman, it's your own body, you shouldn't be grossed out by it. So I got really good at doing it. So by the time it'd gone from summer 2015 to the end of 2016, I knew this stuff like the back of my hand. So I was like, yep, let's have a baby. I was like, okay, it's go time, let's try, it's baby making time, stick your legs in the air afterwards, everything, and boom, I was pregnant in December. And I found out just a few days before Christmas, so it was a really exciting time. And then unfortunately I had a miscarriage. So I had the ultrasound in November. They said polycystic ovaries. Got pregnant in December, had the miscarriage right at the end of December, like December 31st, I think is when the whole bleeding started, and then through New Year's Day, and it was horrible. So the doctors didn't really know what was going on in terms of the pregnancy, because usually our first midwife appointment is around about the 8-week mark, and I had the miscarriage about 5 weeks. So I knew for a couple of weeks. Yeah, because I found it really, really early. So I knew for a couple of weeks and then had the miscarriage. They just carried on the whole kind of gynae investigation as normal. So after I had the miscarriage, obviously I explained to my doctor, she noted it down on my record, and I had some more blood tests because they'd seen the polycystic ovaries. By that time that's not what they were looking for, so they now wanted to do the blood test and everything again to see if I had the other 2 out of 3 markers for polycystic ovarian syndrome. In March 2017, I had a procedure called a hiatus. It was horrible. It is the worst pain next to labour I have ever experienced in my life. It was horrific. I hated it. I screamed, I cried, I did not give a shit. Who heard me in the corridor, who heard me in the hospital, I didn't care, because they told me on the paperwork here, I know it's sidetracking, but I don't care, I need to tell somebody. When they told me on the letter that I'm coming to the hiatus, they said to me, take some paracetamol, about 20 minutes or so before you go to have the procedure. It's just like cramping pains from a period. So I was like, okay, well, I have horrible periods anyway, so this is fine. Pop a couple ibuprofens, I'll be fine. No, it's a lie. If you ever have to do it, they lie to you. It's not period pains. It's horrible. It's horrible. They squirt some fluid up there and it goes through your tubes and it feels like someone is stabbing you inside your inside. Oh my God. I know, Maddie, it's alright. It's painful. I know, it's horrible. All to get you, you know, all to get you. That high cozy was horrible. So I had that, and basically what they wanted to see was if my tubes were blocked. So they put some fluid up there. They do a ultrasound, a transvaginal ultrasound, which is where they stick the thing, it's like a wand up you where they can see inside your uterus and your ovaries. So they stick a fluid up there, which then I guess shows up on the screen, and then they can see if the fluid is passing through your fallopian tubes and getting through to where your ovaries are. They said, you know, thankfully my tubes were fine. On one side, she said it was kind of hard to get the fluid to go through, but then once she saw it through, she said if there was a blockage, there isn't anymore. And then they looked at my ovaries again. They said, yes, there is multiple cysts on your ovaries, so it's looking like polycystic ovaries. Can't confirm the syndrome yet. They got my blood results, and the blood results again didn't show what it needs to show to confirm polycystic ovarian syndrome. However, they stuck me on metformin anyway, which is a medication which is for like metabolic disorders. So if you've got problems with insulin, where they're producing too much, I think it is, producing too much insulin, it helps bring it down, something like that. I don't really know too much about it, but I know they give it to a lot of type 2 diabetics. However, my blood work did not show anything. I had a lot of blood work done. Nothing showed anything like raised insulin levels or like I can't process insulin properly or that I'm borderline diabetic. Nothing showed that. The only thing that shows is that I've got family with type 2 diabetes. My medical history showed that I've got family with type 2 diabetes, not my blood work. So they stuck me on metformin and told me you need to lose some weight because the medication that we could give you to help you get pregnant, it doesn't work very well in overweight women. So they said lose some weight, come back in about 3 months time and we'll review the whole situation. So I said okay, I'll go on the metformin, I'll take the metformin, I'll go on a diet. And I did. I put my heart and soul into it. I was going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I lost 20 pounds. I was very proud of it. I was doing my thing. And then this was, when was this? This was May, late April. So a month later, late April, I was doing my thing at the gym, and I remember specifically this one day because I was doing it in tangent with my friend, my really good friend Ohima. We said we're going to lose weight together and we'll be like accountable to each other. So every Saturday morning you had to stand on the scales, send a picture, you butt naked on the scales, what your weight loss was for that week and everything. And I remember saying to her, okay, I'm going to the gym before we do our weekly weigh-in, and I was really dizzy. And it did make sense because I wasn't doing anything particularly strenuous. I wasn't going for any personal bests with the weights, nothing, but I was really weak. And I remember telling my husband, I think I'm pregnant. But I was really, really, really upset. And this is what I want to talk about. The reason why I was upset. Because I'd gone through this whole thing with the miscarriage and then all this crap, high cozy, medications, you know, PCOS lingering over my head. I was like, I'm not in the mind space for this. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to have a baby right now. I'm not interested. So when I thought I could be pregnant, I was horrified. I was crying on the phone to my husband, like, I don't want to be pregnant right now. I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. And he, bless his socks, just told me, you know, oh, it's fine. I'm sure you're not pregnant. I'm sure your period's just late by a few days. You're not pregnant. You're pregnant. He says he knew I was pregnant, but he was, no, you're not pregnant. I'm sure it'll come tomorrow. Anywho, first week of May was, well, our anniversary is 30th of April. So we decided to go to Edinburgh to celebrate our anniversary for a week, and the weather was amazing. Edinburgh was beautiful. And whilst we were in Edinburgh, I was having loads of back pain, and like I couldn't do as much walking as I wanted to, because remember, I'm on my gym kick thing. So we even booked a hotel that was like 20 minutes away from the city centre, so we could walk everywhere every day. And on the last day, my husband was like, do you know what, we'll go to Superdrug. We're just going to pick up a pregnancy test and just see what's going on. He's fine. The day we were due to fly home, we went for 4 days, we were due to fly home. My husband was like, just take the test, you're getting on my nerves, because I tossed and turned all night, I couldn't sleep, just thinking, oh my God, what if I'm pregnant? So when peed on the stick and I couldn't look at it, I said, I can't look at it, I can't do it, you gotta look at it. So he went in, looked at it and said, yep, you're pregnant, 2 to 3 weeks. And I burst into tears. And in the moment I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. But after that, the whole idea of, okay, I flew home and then it's like, okay, I'm pregnant. When morning sickness hit me, bam, like a truck, that's when I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm... And in my head, my thought process was, I can't believe I'm going to go through all this crap with morning sickness all over again. Well, I didn't get morning sickness the first time, but go through all of this crap to lose the baby. Because in my mind, I wasn't going to have a baby, I was going to have a miscarriage. That's how I saw it. I would mention it sometimes, like I'm worried, I'm paranoid, I didn't want to tell anyone. And then, I'm not going to go too much into it because it's going to be the next video. I had some hospital scares really, really early, like 6 weeks, which then just kind of KO'd it for me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to lose this baby. So that is kind of part one that I just wanted to take you through to explain what happened before the baby even came along and what happened after the miscarriage. So everything happened really quickly. I had the miscarriage at the end of December. I found out I was pregnant in May. So it's what, 4 or 5 months? It wasn't a long period of time, which I consider now being very lucky. But mentally, it was a lot to get my head around because I was grieving the loss of the first pregnancy, going through all this stuff, the procedures and stuff, having to miss work, and then finding out about this whole polycystic ovarian thing, and then finding out I was pregnant again and having health scares. So it was a lot to deal with, but I felt it was important to explain all this stuff before I just get to, oh, I was in labour and I had an epidural and then it was like this and oh my gosh, here was the baby, yay! Because it's not like that for everyone. And I didn't want to paint a rosy picture of it being like, you know, banter and laughs about how easy it was to have my baby, when there's a lot of people that struggle to either get pregnant or they have multiple miscarriages, people go through stillbirths, and I wanted to make sure I cover that spectrum to give a realistic view of what people are dealing with when it comes to parenting or getting into becoming a parent. So that's part one. I hope it was interesting, if nothing else. Part two will be out next week Sunday. And if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. I'm going to try to film these on a weekly basis rather than film them all in one go, so that if you've got questions, I can look at them and then address them at the beginning of the next video. I hope that makes sense. And until next time, bye!